The star charts of the galaxy were a beautiful thing. Lines of glowing routes connected one system to another like golden threads on a black velvet cloth. Planets, stations, and jump gates were marked in different colors. The map stretched far and wide, covering countless civilizations, trade hubs, and military patrol zones. But there was one place, one enormous place, where the chart was empty. Captain Zur stood in front of the navigation hologram on the bridge of his ship, the Silver Spear. His long fingers tapped the console as the stars rotated slowly in front of him. His crew worked quietly at their stations, scanning, plotting courses, and updating cargo lists. The rookie navigator, a young alien named Varric, leaned forward in his seat, studying the hologram with a puzzled expression. His bright green eyes fixed on the black zone, an area so large it seemed impossible that no star was marked there. "Captain," Varric said, pointing at it, "what is this region?" "There's nothing here." The bridge fell silent. No one looked at him. No one moved. Zur's eyes narrowed. "That," he said slowly, "is human space." Varric blinked. "Human? I've never heard of them." "Good," Zur replied. "Keep it that way." Varric tilted his head. "But why is it empty? Why is there no data? No patrol routes, no stations? It's like a hole in the galaxy." Zur turned away from the hologram and looked directly at the rookie. "Because no one who goes there comes back." Varric laughed nervously. "Is this a joke? A legend?" The first officer, a tall insectoid named Kral, hissed sharply. "We do not joke about the void." The rest of the crew kept their eyes on their work, but Varric could see the tension in their movements. Every one of them avoided even glancing toward the black zone on the hologram. Zur walked slowly toward Varric. "You're new to deep space, so I'll explain this once. Hundreds of years ago, when exploration was at its peak, dozens of fleets went into that zone. They wanted to map it, to claim new worlds, to find resources. Some were military expeditions. Others were traders or scientists. None returned. Not one." Varric frowned. "Destroyed? By what?" Zur shook his head. "No wrecks, no distress calls. They just vanished." The rookie leaned back in his chair. "So, there's no proof of danger? Just fear." Zur's expression hardened. "When enough ships disappear without a trace, fear becomes fact." Kral spoke again, his voice clicking. "It is not only the ships. Some captains say they've heard voices on their comms when skirting the border. Strange signals, speaking in a language none could translate. And sometimes the voices called them by name." Varric's eyes widened. "That's—" A loud ping interrupted him. The comms officer, Talon, glanced at his console. "Captain, I'm getting something odd." Zur turned. "Odd?" Talon's hands danced over the controls. "It's a distress signal, very weak, old modulation. I don't recognize the coding." Varric leaned forward. "Where is it coming from?" Talon hesitated. "Inside the void. Deep inside human space." The bridge went still again. Zur's eyes locked on Talon. "Could be a trap. Or," Varric said, "it could be someone who's been stranded for years." Kral's mandibles clicked. "Or it could be nothing. Ghost signals, we've heard of such things." Varric looked at the captain. "We have to check. It's our duty." Zur studied the young navigator for a long moment. Then he looked back at the hologram. The black zone seemed to grow larger the longer one stared at it. Finally Zur spoke. "Plot a course to the border. We'll see if the signal is real." The crew shifted uncomfortably, but no one argued. Orders were orders. The Silver Spear slipped through hyperspace lanes until the stars began to thin. Fewer ships passed them. The beacons that marked safe jump routes became rare, then stopped entirely. On the edge of the void, the darkness seemed different, thicker somehow, as if it could swallow the light from their own ship. "Signal sources still inside," Talon reported. But it's strange. The data packet keeps repeating the same sequence, like it's been playing for years. Varric asked, "What's the message say?" Talon frowned. "It's in standard, but it's only 3 words. Need immediate assistance." The captain stood at the viewport, staring into the black. "Increase power to shields. Bring weapons online. We're crossing the border." The ship moved forward. The moment they entered the zone, the navigation hologram flickered. Every star disappeared. "The scanners went dead. Systems are still functional," Krau reported. "But sensors are blind." Varric tapped his console. "It's like the void is blocking every signal." The blackness outside was absolute. No stars, no planets, no light at all. Only the faint glow of the Silver Spear's own running lights cut through the darkness. Then, something moved. At first, Varric thought it was just his imagination. A shadow darker than the dark itself passed across the viewport. Then another, shapes without edges. "Captain," he whispered. "Do you see that?" Zur didn't answer. His gaze was locked on the forward screen. The cum crackled. A faint whisper slipped through, almost too soft to hear. Talon adjusted. "The gain. It's a voice." They listened. The voice was distorted, mechanical, yet somehow human. "Turn back," it said. "You not ready," Varric swallowed. "Who is that? Is it the distress signal?" Talon shook his head slowly. "No, different source, much closer." Zur's voice was calm but cold. "Maintain course. Let's see who's watching us." The darkness around them seemed to pulse, as if alive. The crew could feel it, an invisible pressure pressing against the hull. Against their minds. Krau gripped the arms of his chair. "Something is locking onto us. I can feel it." The voice came again, clearer this time. "Leave before we make you." The captain straightened. "To whomever is speaking, we are responding to a distress call. Identify yourself." For a moment, there was silence. Then a new sound filled the cum-music. Old Earth music. The soft strum of a guitar echoed through the bridge, followed by a human voice singing in a language none of them understood. Varric's eyes were wide. What is this? Who? Before he could finish, every light on the bridge flickered. Then, the scanners came alive again, and something was there. A ship. Small, sleek, faster than anything they had ever seen. It was right in front of them, yet none of their sensors had detected it before. On the main screen, the ship's cockpit lit up, revealing a single figure inside. A human. His face was calm, his eyes sharp. He looked at them as if studying insects through glass. "Captain Zur," the human said, speaking their language perfectly. "Turn your ship around. You have crossed into protected space." Zur stared at the man on the screen. "Who are you? Where is the ship sending the distress call?" The human's eyes narrowed. "That signal is not one of ours, but if you continue, you will not survive." Varric leaned forward. "Why? What's in this space?" The human's voice was flat. "The reason no star chart shows human space is because you would all try to take it from us." The bridge was silent. Then, without warning, the human ship vanished from their screens, gone as if it had never been there. The Silver Spear drifted in the void, the distress signal still pulsing faintly ahead of them. Varric looked at the captain. "What now?" Zur's expression was unreadable. He stared into the black, where the human ship had been. Finally he said, "We go on." And the Silver Spear moved deeper into human space, unaware that something far beyond their understanding was already watching them. The Silver Spear pushed deeper into the void. No stars, no planets, only blackness stretching in all directions, as if the galaxy itself had ended and they were drifting in a place beyond it. On the bridge, the crew worked in silence. The hum of the engine sounded louder than usual. Every beep of a console made them flinch. The distress signal still pulsed ahead, 3 simple words. In standard, need immediate assistance. VA, RIK, the rookie navigator, leaned over his console. Signal strength is growing. We're getting closer. Captain. Zur didn't take his eyes off the viewport. Any sign of that human ship? Nothing, Talon, the comms officer replied. Not on sensors, not visually. Kral, the first officer, hissed. They are still watching. I can feel it. The darkness shifted. Varric squinted. Captain, I think I see something. Slowly, faint shapes emerged from the black. At first they looked like distant rocks. Then, as the silver spear drew closer, their outlines became clearer. Ships, dozens of them, dead, drifting hulks, their hulls scarred and torn. The crew stared in silence as the silver spear passed between the lifeless vessels. Some were old cargo, freighters. Others were warships with thick armor plating. A few were completely alien in design, no record in any galactic database. All were silent. Varric's voice was hushed. How long have they been here? Kral's claws clicked over his console. Centuries. Maybe more. One massive cruiser floated just meters away from their ship. Its entire bow was gone, as if something had bitten it off. Talon scanned it. No life signs, no energy readings. Just emptiness. The rookie shivered. So this is what happens to ships that enter human space. Zur's voice was calm, but his eyes were sharp. Not necessarily. These could be invaders, pirates, explorers. No way to know. But something destroyed them. As they passed another wreck, Varric noticed something strange. Captain, look. He pointed at the hull. The metal was shredded, not burned or melted like from normal weapons. It looked twisted, warped, like clay torn apart by invisible hands. Kral examined it. No known weapon does this. Zur's jaw tightened. I know one that does. Varric looked at him. What? The captain's voice dropped. A gravity shear cannon. Only one species ever built them, humans. The crew froze. The distress signal pulsed again, louder now. Talon's brow furrowed. It's coming from that vessel. On the screen, a small corvette drifted ahead. Its design was unfamiliar, but it wasn't as damaged as the others. Its lights were dark. Zur ordered. Approach carefully. Prepare to board. The silver spear matched velocity with the derelict ship. A boarding tube extended and locked with a dull thunk. Kral, Varric, and 2 security officers suited up. The corvette's interior was dark and silent. Dust floated in the stale air. The crew's boots echoed against the metal floors. Lights on, Kral ordered. Beams from their helmet lamps cut through the darkness. The walls were covered in strange markings, claw-like scratches, but too precise to be random. Varric ran his hand over one. These aren't battle damage. They look like symbols. Kral ignored him and checked his scanner. No life signs. Air is breathable, but stale. They moved deeper. Every corridor felt colder. In the main deck, they found the source of the distress signal. A comms console still active, running on minimal power. Varric stepped forward. This thing's been broadcasting for 214 years. The security officer frowned. Then whoever sent it is long dead. Suddenly, Varric froze. There's no crew here, he said slowly. Not even bodies. They searched every compartment. Empty bunks. Empty storage. No signs of violence, just absence. Kral's mandibles clicked nervously. This is wrong. Very wrong. Varric tried to lighten the mood. Maybe they abandoned ship. Kral turned sharply. Abandoned into where? There is nothing here. Then, over the team's comm channel, a voice whispered, You should not be here. Varric spun around. Who said that? Not me, Kral said. The voice came again, calm, cold, unmistakably human. Leave, now. Back on the silver spear. Talon's console lit up. Captain, something's approaching fast. Zur's eyes narrowed. From where? Everywhere. The screen filled with static. Then, the image cleared to reveal the same small human ship from before. It stopped meters from their hull, facing them like a predator blocking its prey. The human pilot appeared again, his face unreadable. "You found the corvette," he said flatly. "That ship is a grave. Leave it." Zur stepped forward. Who were they? The human's gaze was hard. People who came here without permission. Varric's voice came over the boarding team channel. "Captain, we're hearing things." Voices, the human pilot's eyes flicked toward the sound. "Get them out of there, now." As the boarding team returned, Varric noticed something in the shadows of the corvette's corridor movement. Not a person. Not even a shape, just a ripple in the air, like heat distortion. It slid along the wall, keeping pace with them. Varric whispered, "Kral, do you see that?" Kral didn't look. "Keep walking." They reached the airlock, sealed it, and crossed back into the silver sphere. The moment the connection disengaged, the human ship drifted closer. "You came for the distress call," the pilot said. "It was bait, not ours. Something else put it there." Zur's eyes narrowed. "Something else." The human's voice was low. "An intruder. You should pray it hasn't noticed you yet." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Varric finally asked, "Why help us at all?" The human didn't answer right away. Then, almost too quietly, he said, "Because once, long ago, we helped everyone. And we were repaid with war." His ship turned away, its engines flaring with sudden power. "Follow me," he ordered, "or you will join the dead ships." The silver spear followed, weaving between the wrecks. Varric kept glancing back at the corvette they had just left. Through the viewport, he thought he saw the same ripple of distortion sliding over its hull. Then, the corvette's lights flickered on, for the first time in 2 centuries. The silver spear followed the human's small, sleek craft through the void. No one on the bridge spoke. The wrecked ships slowly disappeared into the darkness behind them, but the sense of being watched never left. Varric sat at his console, eyes fixed on the human ship ahead. "Captain, how is he moving so fast without leaving a jump trail?" Zur's voice was quiet. "I don't know. And that's what worries me." Kral hissed softly. "They are controlling our systems. If they can do that, they can destroy US without effort." The cum crackled. The human's voice filled the bridge. "Stay close. Do not stray from my course. And do not touch your weapons." Varric leaned forward. "Who exactly are you?" The human did not answer. Instead, he said, "You are lucky I found you before it did." "It?" Zur asked. The pilot's tone was flat. "The thing that sent your distress call." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Varric frowned. "So, it wasn't you?" "No," the human said. "We do not call strangers into our space." That signal came from something older and dangerous. The ships glided deeper into the void. Slowly, faint light began to appear ahead, not stars, but glowing structures suspended in space. Towers, platforms, and spherical stations, all connected by thin beams of energy. Varric stared. "Is that a city?" "Yes," the human replied. "One of many." The crew stared at the impossible sight. Massive structures hung in the blackness, shining with soft white and blue light. Ships of strange design moved between them, silent and graceful. Zur's voice was low. "We were told there was nothing here." "That is the point," the human said. As they approached, Varric noticed that the human ship was transmitting a code. Massive defense turrets tracked the silver spear for a moment, then slowly turned away. "You hide all this from the galaxy?" Varric asked in disbelief. "Yes," the human replied. "Because if we didn't, the galaxy would try to take it from us. We built this after the last war, to stay hidden, to rebuild, to protect what is ours." Kral tilted his head. "And what is that?" The human's voice was sharp. "Survival." They entered the city's outer perimeter. A docking platform extended from one of the stations. The human ship docked first, then gestured for them to follow. Zur hesitated. This could be a trap. Varric glanced at the defense turret surrounding them. If it was a trap, we'd already be dead. The captain gave the order. The Silver Spear docked inside the station. They were met by a group of humans in uniform, simple, functional clothing with no insignia. The pilot removed his helmet, revealing short black hair and sharp features. "My name is Commander Rains," he said. "You're here because something dangerous has entered our space. You will help us find it." Zur crossed his arms. "We came for a distress call, not a hunt." Rains' expression didn't change. "The moment you crossed our border, you became part of this. And if you want to leave alive, you will help." Varric stepped forward. "What exactly is this something?" Rains' eyes darkened. "An autonomous war probe. Very old, not human. It was built by one of the species that tried to wipe us out centuries ago. We destroyed their fleets. But some of their machines survived drifting, hiding. This one somehow found its way here," Kral hissed. "Why didn't your defenses destroy it already?" Rains looked at him steadily. "Because it is smart. It hides in shadows, and it is already inside our systems." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. Zur finally said, "If we help, what do you expect from us?" "You will track it," Rains said. "It knows human signals, but it doesn't know yours." "That gives you an advantage," Varric frowned. "And if we find it?" Rains' voice was cold. "Then we destroy it before it destroys us." They were taken to a command room overlooking the station's heart, a massive chamber filled with holographic displays and streams of tactical data. Varric couldn't help but stare. The technology was far beyond anything he had ever seen. Ships jumped between points instantly, without hyperspace corridors. Weapons arrays formed from pure energy, shifting in midair like living things. Rains noticed his expression. "Now you understand why we hide. If the galaxy saw this, war would come again." Hours later, the Silver Spear undocked, now carrying a small human-built sensor drone attached to its hull. "This will let us track the probe," Rains explained over comms. "But once you're close, it will know, and it will try to run." Varric muttered, "Or fight." "Exactly," Rains said. They slipped back into the void, leaving the human city behind. The darkness returned, thicker than ever, for hours. They searched in silence. Then, without warning, the drone's readout spiked. "Contact!" Varric shouted. "Bearing 37 Mark II. Zur turned the ship. "Visual?" Talon shook his head. "Nothing yet." The sensors lit up again. The shape appeared small, sharp, angular. It moved like no normal ship, darting between shadows, vanishing and reappearing in impossible angles. "That's it," Rains said over comms. "Do not let it lock onto you." The Silver Spear accelerated. The probe twisted away, firing a pulse of energy that washed over their hull. Kral hissed, "Shields holding. For now." They chased the probe deeper into the void. Suddenly, Varric shouted, "It's broadcasting again." The speakers filled with the same distress signal. "Need immediate assistance." Varric's stomach dropped. "It's trying to lure more ships. Or confuse us," Zur said. The probe vanished from sensors. "Where did it go?" Talon asked. Before anyone could answer, a warning blared. "It's behind us." The probe had reappeared directly in their wake, racing toward them. Zur shouted, "Evasive!" The Silver Spear rolled sharply, narrowly avoiding a second energy pulse. Rain's voice cut in sharply. "Hold it steady." "I'm inbound." "Inbound?" Varric asked, then his eyes widened. From the darkness ahead, the human small ship appeared, moving faster than the eye could follow. It fired once. The probe shields flared, then failed. The human ship matched its speed, forcing it into a tight turn. "Now!" Rains shouted. ZUUR fired the Silver Spear's weapons. The blasts tore into the probe, ripping through its hull. The probe shuddered, but didn't die. Instead, it released a blinding flash of light and vanished into the void. Rain's voice was grim. It's wounded, but not destroyed. And now it knows you. The channel went silent. Varric swallowed hard. Captain, what happens when it comes back? Zur stared into the blackness. We'll find out soon enough. The void around the Silver Spear was silent again. Too silent. After the probe's sudden escape, the crew moved quickly, checking systems and repairing minor damage. But every movement was tense. Every sound seemed louder. Varric kept glancing at the blackness outside the viewport. It's still out there, he muttered. ZUUR didn't disagree. Yes, and it's thinking about its next move. Kral, the first officer, hissed, "We should leave. Let the humans deal with their own problem." Before Zur could reply, the cum came alive. "This is Commander Rains," the human pilot said. His voice was calm, but there was an edge to it. "The probe is moving toward one of our inner zones. That is unacceptable. We're going after it together." The crew followed his coordinates. As they moved deeper into human space, Varric began to notice changes. The blackness wasn't as empty anymore. Tiny points of light shimmered here and there, not stars, but artificial beacons. They flickered softly, almost like they were watching the Silver Spear pass. Kral noticed too. "Your humans have eyes everywhere," he muttered. "Eyes, ears, and more," Rains said over the comm. "If something slips past us, our inner defense grid will." "No," Varric asked. "So why didn't the grid catch the probe before?" Rains didn't answer right away. "Because it's learning how to hide from us." They reached a massive structure floating in the darkness. A colossal ring, kilometers wide, glowing with faint blue light. Ships moved in and out of its open center like insects entering a hive. Varric's jaw dropped. "What is that?" "Our core gate," Rains explained. "It connects every human system instantly," Kral hissed softly. "That's impossible." Rains chuckled. "That's human engineering." The human ship and the Silver Spear passed through the gate. In an instant, the endless black was gone. They emerged into a vast star system. Bright suns, green planets, massive orbital stations. Civilian ships moved between worlds in perfect order. Varric stared, stunned. "It's beautiful." "You are seeing only one system," Rains said. "We have dozens." Zur finally spoke. "And you keep all of this hidden from the galaxy?" "Yes," Rains said. "Because we know what the galaxy does to beauty. It destroys it." The Silver Spear and the human craft moved toward a large station orbiting a green-blue planet. As they approached, alarms began to flash on both ships. Rains' voice sharpened. "It's here." Varric's console lit up with red markers. "Multiple readings, too fast to track." The probe appeared ahead of them, darting between defense platforms. Its hull was scarred from their earlier battle, but its movements were even faster now. "Target locked," Kral shouted. "No!" Rains ordered. "You'll hit the station. Herd it toward open space." Zur angled the Silver Spear to cut off the probe's escape route. The human ship swung around the other side, forcing the intruder toward the edge of the system. The probe responded by firing a concentrated beam of energy at the Silver Spear. "Shields at 60%. Kral barked. Varric gritted his teeth. "It's trying to cripple us." Rains' ship closed in, firing precise bursts. Each shot pushed the probe further from the station and toward empty space. "Almost there," Rains said. But then the probe did something unexpected. It stopped running. It turned directly toward the human city. "It's not retreating," Varric said. "It's charging," Rains swore. "It's going for our data core." The probe accelerated, weaving through defense fire with impossible precision. "Cut it off." Zur ordered. The silver spear and the human ship gave chase, but the probe was already inside the city's perimeter. On the station below, defense turrets came to life, filling space with bright streams of plasma. The probe darted through them, almost dancing between the blasts. "Why isn't it firing back?" Varric asked. Rains answered grimly, "Because it's focused on one thing, getting inside." They pursued it toward a massive spire rising from the station's surface. Energy fields rippled around the spire's base. "That's our data core," Rains explained quickly. "If it connects to it, it could infect every defense system we have." Kral's claws clicked rapidly over the controls. "Then we must destroy it now." "Not without killing 500,000 people," Rains snapped. The chase tightened. The probe fired a small projectile. It struck one of the defense turrets, which exploded in a blinding flash. The shockwave rattled the silver spear. Varric held onto his console. "If it keeps doing that," Zur interrupted, "we'll lose the city." The human ship darted ahead, moving faster than seemed possible. Rain's voice was cold. "Stay behind me. I'm ending this." He pushed his ship into the probe's path, forcing it into a sudden upward climb. "Now!" Rains shouted. The silver spear fired all weapons. The blasts hit the probe's engines. It spun wildly, losing speed. Rains closed in and fired a final shot directly into the probe's core. The explosion was silent in space but blindingly bright. Fragments spun away in all directions. The silver spear rocked from the shockwave. "Is it over?" Varric asked. "No," Rain said. "That was only a fragment of it." The crew stared at him. Fragment?" Rains nodded grimly. "That probe isn't just a machine. It's part of a swarm. And the rest of it is already moving toward your homeworld." Zur's expression hardened. "Then I think it's time you told us everything about this." "Swarm." Rain's voice was flat. "We'll talk on the way. But understand this, if the swarm reaches your people, there will be nothing left to save." The silver spear turned toward the gate, following the human ship once more. Varric glanced back at the city as it shrank behind them. For the first time, he realized something: human space wasn't just a mystery. It was a fortress dot, and now the fortress walls had been breached. The silver spear followed Commander Rain's human craft through the void. Every crew member was tense. Every sound on the bridge felt louder. Every flicker of the blackness outside made Varric's stomach twist. Zur leaned forward in his chair, eyes fixed on the faint outline of the human ship ahead. "Where exactly are we going?" he asked. Rains didn't answer at once. "You're about to understand why no star chart shows human space." Varric shivered. "Are we ready for that?" The captain didn't reply. He only tightened his grip. On the console, they approached a massive structure floating in the void, a fortress unlike anything in the galaxy. It was a planet-sized station, shimmering with energy fields and countless turrets. Defense drones swarmed in patterns that no alien military manual could ever explain. Rains said quietly, "This is the core of human space. If an enemy wants to take our home, they will meet this first." Kral's claws clicked nervously. "And the probe, it's heading here?" Rain's eyes were hard. "It is. And if it reaches the core, it will destroy everything. Systems, cities, lives gone." "In minutes," Varric swallowed. "Then we have to stop it." The human pilot led them into position. His ship darted forward, weaving between swarms of defense drones. The probe appeared, a dark, jagged shape moving impossibly fast. It released pulses of energy, cutting through the void, aimed at the human fleet. "Hold steady," Rains shouted. "We're going to force it into our trap." The silver spear fired everything it had. Lasers, plasma, missiles, each shot carefully aimed. Each hit pushing the probe closer to the core's energy net. Varric couldn't take his eyes off the scene. The probe moved like a living thing, twisting and evading. Every shot it avoided seemed calculated. "Captain," Varric said, "it's learning from us. It's adapting." Zur nodded. "I see that. Keep firing, but watch our shields." Kral hissed, "It's going to strike the core." Suddenly, Rain's ship cut across the probe's path. With a precise strike, he forced it into the energy net surrounding the fortress. The probe shuddered. Sparks flew. Its hull cracked. But it wasn't finished. "It's not over." Varric shouted. "No," Rain said. "It never is, but now you will see why humans are feared." The fortress came alive. Massive ships, hidden for centuries, launched from the energy fields. Ships that moved faster than light, vessels that twisted in ways no physics should allow. They surrounded the probe, cutting off every escape route. The human craft fired in perfect synchrony. The silver spear followed orders, helping to box the intruder in. Varric whispered, How can so few ships do this?" Rains didn't answer. His eyes were locked on the probe. The probe fired a massive pulse directly at the core. Energy arcs shot outward, shaking the fortress. "Shields holding," Kral barked, "but only just." Varric's heart pounded. "If it hits, then everything ends," Zur finished. Rains made a calculated move. His ship charged directly at the probe, firing a concentrated energy beam. The probe spun wildly, then struck another drone. "Steady!" Rains shouted. "Keep it in the trap." The silver spear's weapons joined the attack. The probe's hull exploded in pieces, fragments spinning into the void. Its core, the part that could infiltrate systems, was destroyed. For a moment, silence filled the void. Varric let out a breath he didn't realize he had been holding. "It's gone." Rain's voice was calm, but it carried weight. "Only for now. That probe was part of a larger network. One fragment can become many if it reaches the wrong hands. That's why we hide. That's why every captain fears human space." Zur looked at him. "So the legends, all the warnings, they were true?" Rains nodded. "Every ship that enters without permission risks death. Not because humans are cruel, but because humans are strong and patient, and we protect what is ours." Varric glanced around at the fortress, the ships, the drones. "All of this, it's real. We never imagined humans could be like this." Rain's gaze softened slightly. "Most don't. That is why we remain hidden. But you have seen it now." The rookie shivered. "Will you ever join the galaxy again?" Rain shook his head slowly. "Not yet. Only when civilizations learn to survive without destroying everything they touch. Until then, we remain a myth." Zur cleared his throat. "Then why let us live?" "Because you acted carefully," Rain said. "You followed orders, respected the warning, and helped prevent disaster. That is how humans judge others. Not by legends, not by fear, but by action." Varric's mind was racing. "So, that means every captain who knows of human space understands why no star chart shows it." "Yes," Rain said simply. "Every captain knows. Entering human space without permission is suicide, and that knowledge keeps the galaxy from chaos." The silver spear prepared to leave. The human fortress and the city shrank behind them, disappearing into the void. Varric looked at the void, now peaceful, yet full of secrets. "I don't think I'll ever forget this." Zur placed a hand on his shoulder. "Neither will anyone else who has crossed this border." As they exited the human territory, a single coordinate flickered on the silver spear's navigation screen, hidden, almost invisible. Varric leaned closer. "What's that?" Zur studied it carefully. "An invitation or a warning, one we won't forget." The crew sat in silence as the blackness of the void returned. The stars of the galaxy slowly appeared again, safe in their familiar lanes. But Varric knew human space was always watching, always ready and impossible to challenge. The human pilot's voice came one last time over comms. Calm and final, remember. This. Power without control destroys itself. Strength without patience is weakness. You have seen the reason. Carry it with you. Then silence. The silver spear continued its journey home. The crew had survived, but nothing would ever be the same. They had looked into human space, seen the impossible, and understood the truth. The galaxy could continue its wars, its trade, and its exploration. But one secret would remain untouchable. Humans were not weak. Humans were not myths. Humans were the reason no star chart dared to show their space. And every captain, everywhere, knew it. The end.